Oh, it's almost the time we. Okay, today let's start our today's conversation about 5 things you may not know about Americans. Okay. Oh, I find 12 people have entered into our place. Okay, let's. At the very beginning today, as usual, you please introduce yourself, John, please.
Is there a link?
Yeah. Okay.
I don't see it.
Can you see? Everything is okay?
I didn't see any link though.
You did? You didn't see any link? Let me send the link to you. Okay. John, I send you. 那刚刚已经进入这一个空间的朋友们，可以先做一些转发，帮我们做到转发你的朋友圈，或者对于一些英语爱好者的群里。Okay, I have sent you the link. 我们做这个节目呢 ，John 呢是在美国，我在中国，我们一起来做这个节目。Have you got the link?
I did.
Okay.
And
sounds good.
There it is.
Okay.
Super. I'm here.
Okay. Now it's your time to introduce yourself, please.
Okay. Well, so my name is Joe Martins, and I am a former software engineer and marketing and business analyst for Fortune 500 companies and the defense industry in the United States. And about 5 years ago, I started working with Chinese manufacturers to help them sell their products into the Western markets. And since then, I had decided to help the people throughout China improve their conversational English, because I feel it's a very important skill in international business and relationships.
Okay, thank you for your introduction. Okay, and let me briefly introduce myself. For my first bachelor degree, I studied biology at Northwestern Normal University in China, and also later I taught in senior high school English for 3 years, and also at the same time studied English for 3 years at Yanliao University. In 2003, I came back to Beijing, studied geology at China University of Geosciences for 3 years, and later I studied for my PhD also about geology, and jointly cultivated by China University of Geosciences and Chinese Academy of Sciences and Miami University in the United States, and also finished my postdoc at Peking University. I worked for China Geological Survey and the globally largest mining company BHP Billiton. In the past 12 years, I run my personal company Suntrans for almost 12 years, and recently we are doing some training for special English for geology, petroleum, and mining, and also for some public English. Especially recently, I cooperated with Joe Martins together to train some English, and we have been doing programs, maybe more than 20 programs. Today, our topic is about 5 things you may not know about Americans. So let's move to the, as usual, if you arrive into our space, please reply 1, and or you can sign up, put on your name and the title of your school or your company. 那已经签到的这个英语爱好者，那可以在这儿回复一，或者是回复我们的回复你的名字以及你的公司名或者学校名。那请大家在这儿回复一，我们给一点时间，大家可以回复一 ，OK。或者就是写上你的名字以及你的机构名，这样让我们知道，你已经参与到这个活动中了。请大家回复一，同时呢，也请大家转发到你的朋友圈，或者转发给一些 language lovers， 给一些外语学习爱好者。那么这样让更多的人也可以享受到这些公益的讲座。我们每一个人呢，如果有问题，可以随时在这个公屏上来提问，我们可以让 John 或者我来回答。好，就是已经到的朋友，请写你的名字加上你的机构的名字，或者直接回复一，让我们知道你已经参与到这一个活动中了，让我们也知道您是什么名字。当你进入这个空间的时候，最好能够写上你真实的名字，这样我们好跟你做沟通。Okay, now let's move to the first part. Just ago we have introduced both of us. John Martins from Street English. My name is Lyu Guo from Suntrans. And the first topic, do you know Americans are comfortable talking to strangers? Why? Okay, John, please give your suggestions.
So, one of the main differences that you will notice if you visit the United States is that people that you do not know feel completely comfortable to come up to you and say hello. They may even ask you questions. Where are you from? Do you need any help? From a very young age in the U.S., when we're children, our parents, they tell us two things. One, when you're very young, they say, don't talk to strangers.
It's not safe.
But later, it becomes one of our skills to feel completely comfortable just to walk up to a crowd or an individual and just say hello. Part of it is that we don't think about fear of, will this person like us? Will they not like us? What will they think of the way I speak, of the way that I look? We don't think of it in this sense. We just think of it as an opportunity. We don't know who you are, and we want to know who you are.
Yeah.
And part of that is that you never know what that relationship could lead to.
Okay.
For example, it might, you might say hello, and that person might say, "Go away."
Not very happy, even impolite.
Yeah, or maybe very nicely, "Sorry, I don't want to talk," and we won't, continue to bother you. But if you say hello, then we begin conversation about anything: the weather, children, why are you here? So it's something that we've done for very young age, and it's something that I noticed does not happen when I'm in China.
Yeah.
People keep to themselves. They don't talk to each other. And as an American, I look at that as millions of missed opportunity. So it's something that we do from a young age, and part that our parents and our teachers and our the people around us, our friends, we just feel comfortable having conversations, even if we don't know you.
So, can you take more examples to illustrate your the cases?
The other way that this is helpful is we have trouble sitting in quiet.
Oh, not as enthusiastic.
It feels awkward.
Yeah, embarrassed.
Yes. Well, if let's say I'm sitting at the same table as you, like the day we first met.
Oh yes, between us, you are talking about the first day we met each other in Wudaokou, Beijing.
Yes, it would have been very awkward.
Yeah.
If we sat at the same table, we look at each other and say nothing.
Yeah.
To an American, it feels weird. We want to say something. Anything.
Right.
How are you? How's the weather? Nice day today, isn't it?
Yeah.
And the best part is that you never know who that person is.
Yeah.
It could be a future business partner.
Yeah.
It could be a future husband or wife.
Yes.
It could be a future good friend.
Everything is possible.
Yes, but you will never know. You will never know unless you open your mouth.
Right.
And say something, anything. So that is very much part of American culture. And when you come here, if you have an opportunity, for those of you who have not been here, you will find that people will just say hi to you. Don't be shy.
Right.
Don't be shy. Talk, ask questions. We love that.
Right. So especially two strangers get together on the same table in a restaurant. If you don't speak something, if you don't say hello to each other, maybe feel awkward or it's weird. So usually people politely say hi to each other, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
And it's just, in international business, it's an important skill. You cannot look, kind of disinterested. You cannot just treat every conversation like a transaction. It's very boring if my only conversation with you is, where is the bathroom? Oh, the bathroom's over there.
Right.
Oh, that is so boring. That is so boring. I would rather talk about job.
Right.
My kids, your kids, places that you like to vacation.
Right.
Foods that you like to eat. Things that you would talk about with your friends and with your family and with your coworkers. That's the exact same conversation that you should feel, just feel comfortable.
Right.
If you approach a foreigner, particularly an American, say anything. It doesn't matter. Just start a conversation. Usually you will find many Westerners, but particularly Americans, we are just friendly. And
actually, it's the same for Chinese, as what you mentioned. Maybe the opposite you are talking is your potential client, or your future close friend, or even become your wife, your husband. Everything is possible. So no matter for Chinese or Americans, we should be active and positive to talk with other people. It's a kind of courtesy. Also, we can grasp a lot of precious opportunities if we really actively to do something, or even sometimes we can act as a volunteer to help other people, to talk with them. Just like we met for the first time, we just say hi to each other, and then more conversations happened between us. So no matter for any country, any person, it's a basic quality or basic. We must know. We must enlarge our social circles and show our courtesy and show our kindness. It's very necessary to talk with other people. Do you think so?
Yes. Especially in an area like Wudalku, I find that there are just so many interesting people.
Okay.
So many
hold on. One friend mentions that John's voice is a bit low. In fact, they say, could you please loudly? Someone say he cannot. They couldn't listen to you clearly.
My voice?
Yes, voice. Your voice.
Okay. So hopefully they can hear me now.
Okay.
My face is really
close. Do you have earphone? If you have earphone, your voice may be larger, because I use a big speaker, so maybe everybody can understand what I'm talking, and my voice is.
I do, but one of these days I will wear them. I hate wearing this.
Okay. If necessary, maybe you can close to the speaker microphone.
For tomorrow's video, I will connect it.
Okay, that's good. Hopefully tomorrow would be better.
Yeah. So, what my suggestion is, and this is very challenging for the average person, if you're not used to doing this.
Right.
This is not normal for you. My challenge is, when you see, particularly foreigner, but not just foreigner, it's okay. Try to have to strike up a conversation. Hi. You would be surprised when you smile.
Yeah.
And you say hello. Many people cannot refuse. They go, he's smiling, he's happy. I can't say no.
I can take an example to tell you a joke. When I was maybe 24 years ago, when I was studying at Northwest Normal University in Gansu Province, and one of our roommates mentioned his former neighbor. He mentioned because in rural area in Gansu Province, economically it was not very developed. And one day his one boy was trying to look for a girl, and recommended by another person to meet each other for the first time, because they are trying to look for special friends, to look for boyfriend or girlfriend. And when they met each other for the first time, they two seated on the chairs and silently. They didn't talk anything. And finally, the boy eventually spoke to, said to the girl that, okay, do you think okay? If yes, just married. If not, broke up. this is the first time, the first sentence when they met each other. They are very and this is just a joke. Actually, some people are not very good at. We are not eloquent. We at least the best expressions. We must have that kind of a capability to show other people what we are willing to talk. So this is a very, very basic capability.
Don't worry about how good your English is. For the people that are watching this, don't worry, because we are not judging how good your English is. We don't care.
Right.
As long as you're talking.
Yeah.
We would rather that you try to talk than say nothing. And yes, if your pronunciation isn't perfect, so what? We don't care. If your grammar isn't perfect, so what? We don't care. Because even in America, there are people with imperfect pronunciation.
Yes.
Imperfect grammar. But guess what? We still have conversations. Still. So don't worry. You don't need to be shy. You don't need to be afraid. Just say something. Anything.
Right.
Rather than nothing at all.
Yeah. I remember one English teacher, Christian English, Li Yang. Maybe he was very famous. He mentioned several times, you must love losing face. A lot of people couldn't speak English well enough just because they are worried too much about making mistakes. So don't think too much about that. Just try. Gradually, we will become better and better.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes. Culturally, in the U.S., we respect people who try. We don't respect people who they don't want to try.
Right.
We would rather that you try, and even if you fail 1,000 times, it doesn't matter. What matters is that you try.
Right.
So, that's very, very highly respected in America. So try. Don't worry about it. We're not looking for perfection. We're looking for conversation. So.
And can you tell me what kind of questions is taboo for American? I mean, I know a lot of Chinese people may ask some question. In China, it's usual. But for Americans, it's taboo. You shouldn't ask me. It's my private question. You shouldn't. You offended me.
It depends.
They may think about this. Okay.
Well,
can you take some examples? In what kind of situation you think Chinese people may occasionally offend Americans?
Well, so generally speaking, no matter what country you're from, even if you're an American, never ask an American woman about her weight.
Oh, her weight.
Never.
Yeah.
Yes. Unless you want her to not like you.
Yeah. Never ask weight.
Not even if you're her husband. Don't ask. Just don't ask.
Okay.
And if she asks you, am I fat? The answer is always no.
Oh.
You're not fat.
I can tell you a little story about maybe about 11 years ago when I was studying in the United States in Miami University. I had a good friend from Germany, and the girl we are we were very good, very good friends, and so once it was her birthday. I sent one gift to her about how to lose weight. This is how to cook food and beneficial to losing weight. And very beginning, when she found I was trying to send a gift to her, she was very happy. But as long as she noticed the title, she was very angry. Do you think I'm fat? I'm still slender. She was not very happy. I spent some money giving the gift to her, but she was not very happy. It's impolite.
The two topics.
Yes.
That most, well, maybe three topics that most Americans don't really like to talk about. I don't mind. I will talk about them all day.
Okay.
But most Americans don't like to talk about religion,
politics,
and money. Meaning their
so the salary, how much you can make.
their personal salary.
Personal salary.
But many don't like these. The reason is because they are worried that the conversation won't be pleasant. And they try to avoid it. I like these subjects, but many just don't. But I like uncomfortable subjects. So some Americans are okay with it, but many are not.
And also marriage status seems people avoid that kind of topic if not good enough. Yes,
I talk about everything.
You talk about everything, but some people maybe especially even in China it's the same. When the traditional Chinese New Year is coming, each time a lot of people, even some boys and girls, are not willing to go home just because their relatives, their family members, always asking the same questions. Why not bring one boyfriend or girlfriend come back? We worried you cannot find out a proper one. So that a lot of people are not willing to go home.
By the way, when American children go home to see their parents, their parents do not say,
"How about your squirrels?
When are you going to have children?" They say, "How are you doing?" Good. Okay, that's good. Done.
Yeah. I remember once one relative boy said such kind of things. Please don't ask me my scores at school. You can imagine. Did I ask your salary? I didn't ask your salary. You shouldn't ask my grade, my scores. This is a small boy mentioned about this.
That's funny. Yeah. No, I'm not going to say that American parents don't ask any questions. They don't. Most. Remember, I'm not saying all.
Yeah.
I'm saying most.
Yeah.
Most do. They don't push their children to answer questions that might be uncomfortable.
Right.
Especially about job, relationship, children, parents. They want to know. We want to know, but we don't want to ask. I do. I do.
Unless you are very intimate or very close friends, maybe you can ask some question.
Oh yes. If you develop a close relationship, I have friends that I have known for 30 years.
Wow.
And that it's a different situation. You can talk about anything, even uncomfortable things, because a good friend in the U.S., they're your friend no matter what. Good times, bad times, they're still your friend.
But during the course of interview for a company, if they want to recruit more colleagues, what kind of questions we should avoid, or which are still okay? Maybe interview is a little bit strong. Yeah, a little bit special occasion.
Interviews depend on the company, not just the company, but the specific interviewer, the person that you're talking to.
Yeah.
Person has a different idea about how to do an interview. There is no one way. But common questions, they want you to tell them how you're going to help them reach their goal.
Right.
First thing, you should know about the company.
Right.
You should know what they make, what kind of services, maybe their revenue, their markets. You should do your research before the interview.
Right.
But then it's, what can you do for them? And, usually they don't care as much about, I went to this college, I got this score on my exam. They don't care. What they care about is, can you do the job? Can you do the job really well?
Yeah.
Can you deliver on your promises?
Yeah.
And the older you get, the less that school matters, because it's all about your expertise.
Yeah.
And when you talk to them, you should talk talk about how you helped previous employers. The last company that I worked for, I helped them grow sales from $8 million to $25 million in 12 months.
Okay.
Excellent. This is, that's what they want to know. That's
Yeah.
what they want to hear. I reduced the cost of the product by 25%. Excellent. And that's great.
Okay.
Because it tells them what you can do. But one more thing, they want people that are going to get along with others.
Okay.
If you seem like what we call a loner, a person who does not work well in a team,
Yeah.
they are not going to like that. They want to know that when they put a team together to solve a problem, you can work together with them.
Okay.
And what we started talking about was comfortable with conversation with strangers.
Yes.
If I'm your boss,
Yeah.
and I put you on a team with strangers, that skill comes in very handy. You would be able to make friends.
Yes.
You would be able to work together. and get the job done without complaining, without being negative. Very important in a Western company.
But I think during the course of interview, generally speaking, if we are trying to interview some potential candidates who are trying to work with us, of course we must know his history, what his past salaries, or who for whom he worked, or. And sometimes we also, just like Alibaba, the group, Alibaba, also when they interview candidates, they will ask a lot of questions. For example, have you, in what kind of situation you feel extremely stressful in the past, or such kind of questions. Some questions really maybe let you feel not very comfortable, but must try to test your pressure. What kind of pressure you can endure? This is very necessary for some in some situation. Maybe it's very necessary. Even some people will ask us very challenge questions, let you uncomfortable, but just test if you are able to endure or facing up to some very bad things. This is also a kind of test. I'm not sure in American countries if some people will also let people feel uncomfortable.
Yes, someone could ask you, tell me a time that you made a big mistake.
Yeah.
And the best way to answer that is first, be honest. Tell them. Don't worry. But then tell them how you fixed it. What you did in order to make things right. In order to resolve the problem that you created. And
right.
They love that because we aren't expecting perfection.
Yeah.
We're expecting, in fact, I would never trust a person who says they never make mistakes.
Right.
Because that's a lie. Everyone makes mistakes. It's how you handle yourself when you make a mistake. What do you do next? That tells us about your character, who you are. And so when you're talking to an interviewer, you would say, I made an error that cost the company $2 million. But then I did this new process that over the next 6 months recovered the money and earned an additional $1 million.
Okay.
And they say, oh, okay, good. You learned from your mistake and you made a negative into a positive.
Yeah.
That's good. That's good.
May I ask you a question? Usually at home, parents will ask their children's salary or not. For most of the family members. No?
Not usually. Money. It's funny. Parents and even brothers and sisters can go for many years in some families without knowing what each other does for work. In my family, many people don't know what I do for work.
Seems the family members are not very close mutually.
And it depends on how close you are. True. But also because I don't care.
It's your privacy.
Yeah, it's, certain things, we're not in a game. We're not trying to see who makes the most money, who has the best job. We don't care. It's family. It's family. It doesn't make a difference how much you make, what kind of job you're in. If you want to be a mechanic, you want to be a doctor, you want to be an artist, go ahead. We don't, we're not going to compare who's better. Your family. So that's more important.
Yeah. Here, one friend asked, several friends asked us to, one is point, two area is human. The second one friend is asking, if we are trying to talk with lesbian or gay, so is there any taboo? What should we notice? Can you give us some tips if we are trying to talk with lesbian or gay? In America and even in China nowadays, more and more lesbians and gays exist in the society. So if we are trying to talk with them and show our respect to them, what should we pay attention to or notice? Avoid some awkward embarrassment.
You mean among coworkers or siblings?
Sibling. I mean, just maybe coworkers. If among your colleagues there are some lesbian or gays, so in what kind should we pay attention to some taboo?
I think I'm misunderstanding the question.
Okay, because lesbian and gay are very special group in the society.
Oh. I know now.
Yes.
I know what you mean.
Yeah.
Okay, so in the workplace, it depends on the company.
Right.
It depends on the part of the country. Some companies, some places in America are much more open, and we don't care what your background is. We don't. We're not going to say, "Oh, I can't talk to you. I can't be your friend." There are some communities and some companies that are less friendly, but there are laws that protect, so that companies, if a company tries to discriminate and basically say that you can't work here because you're gay or lesbian, then they can get in trouble with the federal government. Actually, and the state government too.
By the way, I ask one question. In America, most states allow lesbian and gays get married or not yet, currently. How many? What about the percentage?
How many states? I will have to
roughly
look up because it changes. One moment. So let's see.
Oh, you will check the data search online.
We are getting the data right now. Let's see. Supreme Court struck down all state bans. Well, technically, it's now legal in all 50 states.
50 states. Oh, almost every.
It's all
of the states allow lesbians, gays get married.
Yep. This is recent. 5 years ago.
Oh, 5 years ago. That's good. That's good.
It's federal. So this
Federal.
Yes, it would be the equivalent of the government in China telling all provinces that they must allow it.
Okay.
When the federal government tells the states, it says you must all allow it. Before 2015, it was state by state, different rules.
10 years ago, when I was studying in America, I remember some friends told us lesbian and gays or this is a public secret. Among colleagues, people know each other. Some people maybe care a lot, maybe fire you if they know you are lesbian, just because some customers may care. Or if they know you are lesbians, they may not go to your store. But for some, not. So currently, I'm not too sure about such kind of situation. In most, if a lesbian or gay is trying to look for a job, so the interviewer will ask the issue or not, and she usually can tell other people or not. Most companies care or not.
You're not allowed, as an employer, you're not allowed to ask your sexual orientation. You're not allowed to ask age. You're not even allowed to see a photo. So American resumes do not have photos.
Oh.
Yeah, you. There are many things you cannot ask if they're married or divorced.
Wow.
Yeah. So it's considered discrimination. That you're trying to make a decision based on a criteria that is not permitted by the federal government. So that's been this way for a very long time.
I have another question. Today, the first topic is about Americans are comfortable talking to strangers. Actually, if someone are not strangers, I want to know a kind of differences. For example, it's said that in America, some people always are friends. In company, they are friends, they are colleagues. And after work, they seems are still friends. But in some countries, when they are working, they are just leader and subordinates are very, very obvious, dramatic, totally different. But after work, they are good friends. They can convert their roles very quickly. I'm not too sure the real truth in America. People, the relationship.
It depends.
Yeah.
It depends on the people and the relationship. Usually, if you're a peer, so let's say in your company, 2 translators.
Yeah.
They might be friends after work.
Yeah.
But if it's a manager and a subordinate, let's say a translator and their manager, very that they would be friends after work, because it makes it difficult to manage someone if you are also trying to be friends. So usually peers, if they're, there are many people who work together.
Yes.
And who are also friends after work.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
That's good. Okay. And I'm not too sure how many today right now about 53 audience have entered into our space, and who has I think we can give our audience some time to ask questions here. And if someone We also want to do some questionnaire. One is how many people, how many audience have been in America? If you have been in America, please reply 1. We will make a questionnaire here. And if someone are very interested in our conversation, and please also forward our link to more friends. Let's give them for you maybe 30 seconds. Okay, if you have been in America, please reply 1. We can sip some water or tea. Okay. Let me also at the same time listen to the music, and for a few seconds, so that everyone can ask questions. We can play some questions. Yeah, you can drink some water. If someone has questions, also can ask here. If you haven't in America, please reply 2. 如果还没有去过美国的人呢，回复2；去过美国的人呢，回复1。我们根据大家这个群里头的情况呢，做一些小的调查。如果你在美国学习或者留学，去过美国，那么请回复1；如果没有去过，请回复2。我们也做一点点调查。也请大家转发到各个群里，就是你的英语爱好者，或者说你的同事群里或者家人群里，如果他们也正在学外语，我们的 Joe Martins 呢，是在美国给大家做节目，那么他的英文呢说的非常的标准，我们可以跟他一起来学习学习英语，也可以了解美国的文化。那希望大家喜欢这些节目。如果有各种 advisable， 有非常可以切实性的建议，在这儿也可以提出来。好，感谢大家。Okay, let's move to the second part. The second subtitle is: Do you know Americans talk little vacation time? Workaholics, please.
Yeah. So, basically, there's 2 kinds of workers in America. The first is hourly. They are paid by the hour.
Sorry, hold on. One friend asked one question.
Sure.
What's the situation about novel coronavirus in the United States? So, can you tell us? Yeah.
There are about just
confirm nowadays how
less than 1,000 cases.
You mean confirmed diagnosed patients, or what? Can you tell us the data roughly?
It's under 1,000 cases in the U.S. currently.
Wow.
And then I'm just looking up here. 1 sec here. I will view the latest. And let's see what the latest is. So, cases about 1,000, and then the current deaths 32.
Where is the most terrible? In California or New York? New York is still the worst. And Washington. That means President Trump has a lot of trouble.
No. That's Washington, D.C.
Washington, D.C.
Washington State. Northwest.
Northwest. I see. Different place.
Yeah. Closer to China.
Still very far from China. Okay. President Trump seems also is taking it very seriously compared to several weeks ago. So can you tell us some measures in America? And some people say, oh, in supermarket, a lot of commodities were purchased very quickly, and the shelves are empty. It's true or not? Even some toilet papers empty. Really? Some guns also empty. What's the reason? Why people
No.
purchase guns?
But there are depends on the area. For example, here, the local supermarket, there's plenty of toilet paper. In some supermarkets, in some cities, you'll see rice, flour, sugar, water. Things like that in some cities are, people bought all of it.
Wow.
It gets replenished really quickly. It's still not really bad here. The state of New York.
Some people is asking, where are you located? Where are you located?
New Hampshire.
New Hampshire.
It is, yes.
Which state? Northeast. Which state?
Northeast. Let's see. We will show you New Hampshire.
New Hampshire.
New Hampshire is like this.
Oh.
Let's see.
Therefore,
I got to remember the shape of New Hampshire. So if you look at the United States, this is Maine. This is Massachusetts.
Massachusetts, close to Massachusetts.
And this is New Hampshire. So that's New Hampshire.
Okay.
Look at the map of the U.S. In the northeast corner.
Northeast corner. Okay.
Is the state of New Hampshire.
Okay.
Terrible drawing. Man.
It is famous for what? Your place is famous for what? Can you tell us? Famous for certain. It is famous for what? Yeah. Some famous figure.
Not much.
Or some interest of place, or
Maybe.
some story, some historically.
Some maple syrup. Franklin Pierce, one of the presidents.
Franklin. President Franklin. His hometown.
Franklin. Yeah.
Franklin. President Franklin's hometown. Is he?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. And there's a college named after him as well. He was 14th president of the U.S.
14th president of U.S. Yes. Okay, sounds great. Okay.
So back in 1800s.
Okay, maybe someday we can talk about some famous presidents in the United States, like Abraham Lincoln or Kennedy. A lot of famous presidents. We can talk about their histories.
Okay.
Let's move to go ahead with your topic.
So there are two types of employees.
Okay.
There are the hourly, which would be like a supermarket worker, mechanic, office worker.
Yeah.
Would be like a low, what we call a low-level office worker, would be hourly. But then we have salary. And usually they both overwork for different reasons. The hourly person overworks because they get so little money that they basically have to sometimes have 2 jobs, 3 jobs
Yeah.
to pay the bills.
Yeah. That's we say time is money. Yeah.
What's that?
So that's why American always say time is money. They measure their the salary or the payment according to time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But so hourly workers tend to work a lot because they make so little money.
Right.
Salary workers is different. Salary workers, the employer puts a lot of pressure on them and says, we pay your salary. So you are going to work as much as we need you to work. If it's 40 hours, 50 hours, 70 hours, you can either work or get fired. And so American culture is built around just work, a little bit of vacation. When I was in my second job, it was working for a defense company, General Dynamics. And they gave the option to basically sell your vacation time back to the company in exchange for money. I used to take my vacation time and sell it back to the company for money rather than take vacation. That is it. I'm not saying that that's a good thing. I think people need time off. It's so important.
Yes.
But young Americans are so focused on paying bills, college bills, car bills, house bills, utility bills, and trying to do not vacation, but maybe more expensive car, bigger house, that they're constantly working to pay it. They always just work.
Can you tell us several data? Maybe we can exactly illustrate how this American feels stressful or workaholics or not really. For example, usually for college students, how many hours do they sleep? For on average on the society, how about people's sleep time, and how many hours weekly they work?
It depends.
You can on average you can tell us some data.
My personal situation was not average. I worked full time, 40 hours per week.
40 hours.
I went.
40 hours for 5 days. Yeah.
And I went to school full time in engineering, but that is not typical. Usually, a college student will work either couple hours a day, or some of them not work at all. They just do their schoolwork. So it depends. If a family is very wealthy, chances are excellent that the student is not working.
Possible. Yes.
They're probably just doing their schoolwork. If a family is less wealthy, chances are good that the student is doing many hours of work to help pay for school, because education in the U.S. is very expensive.
Right, but in some degree maybe something is not true. I can tell you several things. In China, firstly in China. When I was young, maybe only 10 years old or 15 years old, I remember in China, the whole society, everyone work about 6 days weekly. 6 days weekly. But later, maybe I'm not sure which year. Maybe about 20, when I was 20 years old or sometime. All of the people are working about just 5 days, every day 8 hours, much less than than before. As far as many countries nowadays compare each other, for example, I went to more than 30 countries in Pakistan, Sri Lanka, and Uganda, and for these countries, most people are still working at least 6 days, and day and night we can see a lot of roads and ways. The transportation seems still pretty busy, and generally speaking, for underdeveloping countries, people are working still very hard, work 6 or 7 days. It's pretty common. But in China, most places about 5 days. But for some IT companies, the competitiveness is extremely terrible. So in Chinese we say 996, 996 from 9 a.m. to Jacob Ma also mentioned about this. It's pretty common. Every day work more than 12 hours and work 6 days. It's common for most IT companies. These famous companies, they are always they have one public secret, that is ask 3 colleagues to do 5 persons work and pay them 4 persons salary. This is a public secret for all of the people. Three colleagues to do 5 persons work and just pay them 4 persons salary. This is public secret. And when I went to Canada, once asked one drivers. Some drivers say, okay, I must work still 5 days, some 6 days. And I also found some Canadian drivers mention, oh, for me, 3 or 4 days enough. I don't want to make too much money. 4 days enough for me to make a living. So, for generally speaking, for developed countries, some people working very hard. Even they are very wealthy, they are still working hard. But case by case. But nowadays in China, at least in Beijing or Shanghai or Guangzhou, these very developed cities, we say most people are still workaholic, working very hard. So I'm not sure about your opinions.
Well, one of the things that Americans find very funny is when Jack Ma was growing Alibaba.
Yeah.
His philosophy was 996. But now he's wealthy beyond imagination.
Yes.
And if you ask him now, he says, nah, 996, I don't like it anymore.
Just because too many people are attacking him, he tried to avoid very sensitive questions. Actually, a lot of people are even more stressful, work longer than that. 996 is a piece of cake for some IT companies, especially high level of managers or CEOs. They may work much more than that.
Well, the philosophy usually with a small company is you do what you need to do.
Yes.
It doesn't matter how long it takes. You know, it doesn't matter if you have to work 7 days a week. do what you need to do to grow the company.
Right.
But at some point, you want to benefit. You don't want to spend your whole life working crazy hours.
I agree with you.
So, first, when the company is a baby, you put the time in, you put the effort in, and you grow. Then you get to a point where you can hire good people
Right.
to help you so that you can then step back
Yes.
and begin to enjoy some of the fruit of your labor.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's what Jack Ma did. He put in the crazy hours, the crazy time, grew the company to enormous size, and then he finally said, "Oh, now I can step back and enjoy what I created."
Yes. But it depends. There is in the society there are many different opinions. I remember there is a kind of person that is clinic. Such kind of person who they have a kind of opinion that pointed out that they are not willing to make too much money. They just concern themselves. They as long as they feel comfortable, it's okay. Why should we make so much money? In Chinese ancient history, there is Zhuangzi. I remember the emperor asked him, "Oh, you are very famous philosophy. You know a lot. Would you like to work with me?" The Zhuangzi, the person mentioned, "Oh no, please." Don't you say like a tortoise? Do you like a tortoise just put on the wall without inside, or you like if you are a tortoise you want to crawl in the mud? The emperor said, "Of course, crawl in the mud may be much better." John mentioned, "Yes, I don't want to be a high level official or to be a king. I don't have to have so much power, and I want to be comfortable, just myself." We can now to criticize such kind of opinion or life philosophy, and everyone has his personal opinion. We should respect everyone. We cannot say they are wrong. As long as they like it, just do it. Yes.
Yeah. Even with my career, I left jobs that paid very well, but I was very unhappy. It every day you go to work and you're just unhappy. You're sad about what you do. That's not good. When I started to think about teaching conversational English in China, I didn't think about the money, because it's not about trying to become wealthy. It's about trying to make a difference, trying to help people to be able to have a new skill that could help them in their life. And of course you want to earn an income, but income is not number one. Number one is the mission. And the mission for me now is spoken English.
Yes.
And the more people that learn it, the more people that benefit from it, the happier that I'm going to be. In my mind, I say, at night, if my children ask me, what do you do for a living? I want to be able to tell them that I do something good.
Yeah.
To show them that you can contribute
Right.
in a positive way to the world, and you can make a living. You're
Yes.
not going to be famous. You're not going to be Jack Ma wealthy, but you can make a difference.
Yes.
And for me, that is very important. So, it's not everybody is driven by the money.
Right. So, case by case, depends everyone's ambition or their desire, and people are different from each other. And we must balance life and work. Sometimes we must consider our health. Sometimes consider our money or treasure. And sometimes family life, harmonious family life, also very important. The children, sometimes maybe we also need to learn more knowledge or skills. Sometimes we also have some good hobbies, and anyway, must have a balanced life. Even Albert Einstein, the greatest scientist, he has some hobbies like play violins or tell stories to baby or pupils, and always have some hobbies. So we cannot just focus one thing, workaholic. Even we know some very, very smart or wise person, finally they died very early. Even like Steve Jobs. Steve Jobs, the founder of Apple, so famous. He just lived about 55 years old. So what a pity. If he can spend some time to keep health, to do physical exercise, maybe he can live longer. If we just focus on work and become workaholic, maybe we cannot balance life, and we get old very quickly, and it's not a good deal.
Think about that example.
Yeah.
Steve Jobs had billions of dollars.
Yeah.
Most people will never reach that level, but despite having billions of dollars, he could not save himself.
Right.
All the money in the world cannot buy you a longer life.
Right.
Spend all of your time, not paying attention to family,
Right.
or not taking the time to do other things. One day, you're going to wake up like Steve Jobs, and maybe find out that you have a lot of money, but you're not very happy.
Yeah.
And maybe your life is much shorter than you thought it would be. And then it's too late. It's too late.
Right.
At that point, my father used to say, could have, should have, would have. Meaning, we can walk around going, I could have done that. I should have done that.
Yeah.
I would have done it. But guess what? You didn't.
Yes. No time.
What good? You don't let your life pass you by.
Right.
Life is about much more than money. So, yeah, Steve Jobs learned the hard way.
Of course, I remember a lot of people mention about this point. For most people, when they were old enough, almost die, many people feel regretful that they didn't, they haven't experienced something. Most people haven't regret about the mistakes they made. Usually, they regret that they didn't do something. So, if we are still very capable, very young, we must also spend some time. We feel we enjoy it. We must, in some degree. If one person, for example, when I was studying in the United States, my professor, every day he worked about 15 hours or even longer. No vacation. Even every night he left the office about 11. He was very, very happy. But I think it is still okay. When we are still young, we enjoy the work, just do it. If you don't like the work, find out the new one. Or you must balance life. Balance work and life. The philosophy is means different for different people, case by case.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Too many people figure this out when they're old. Figure it out when you're young.
So now, do you regret something? Can you tell me what issues or which aspect you feel regret?
I wish I wouldn't have spent so much of my young life pursuing money and things, property. I would much rather have focused on relationships.
Oh, relationships.
And because good relationships are forever. And good relationships, good memories. Cars come and go. Houses can get lost in a tsunami. Houses can burn down. You sell a house. It comes and it goes. But good friends are forever.
Yes. That's good relationship. Building harmonious relationship with good friends is very valuable. We should cherish it. Okay.
Yeah, more valuable than any money.
Yes. And then, money, in some degree, is just a tool. Not everything. Not life. Not a good relationship. Not being respected.
Yeah.
Okay. Now let's still sip some tea or water and ask our audience some suggestions or ask questions for a few seconds, and then we will move to the next one. Okay. You can drink, sip some water. Let me play music for 20 seconds. Okay.
Can we dance?
Yes. If you have some words to say, you can also tip words or ask questions. 好，大家有什么问题也可以在这儿问。如果感觉到这些对话呢，对大家的外语的提高，或者对美国的了解，美国文化的了解，以及对有些人生观、价值观感兴趣的，也可以在这儿留言。我们大家可以互相讨论、互相交流，这样对中美文化都有更多的认知。大家所提的问题，我们也会在这儿及时的回复。Some people also say thanks a lot for Joe. Thank you. It's so late. You are still making program for us. Thank you for your contribution. 那么大家如果觉得这个节目不错，也希望转发到你的朋友圈里头，帮助更多的人来提高外语，或者增加对美国的认知。Okay, let's now move to the second part. Do you know Americans value independence and individualism? Okay, about this point, totally different from Chinese people. Okay, point out your idea.
Well, This independence and individualism goes back as old as the country, even older. If you remember any history of the U.S., we fought the British and the French and the Spanish to be free initially from the British. The
Which year?
colonists.
77-6? You mean the Declaration of Independence happened in which year?
Let me plug in my phone.
Okay. 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 It's so late. Some people are still call you.
Okay. So.
Okay.
Okay. The fighting in the U.S. began even as far back as like the 1600s. The colonists did not like being told what to do. They originally came here to escape being told what to do. And once we began to formalize the beginnings of the country, the beginnings of the states, we increasingly wanted to be separate, just our own country. And so that independence, which by the way is what we call July 4th, Independence Day, the day that we declared our independence from Britain. That July 4th, 1776. That marked the beginning as a country of being independent. However,
Americans' Independence Day, that year, yeah.
July 4th. Yep.
Yeah.
But even as a person, we value independence, meaning from a very young age, we try to teach our children how to survive, how to do things all by themselves. My daughter and my son, they knew how to cook basic foods by about 5 years old. About 7, 8 years old, they could do their own laundry. And I find that, it begins to build a character that values.
Okay, I'm not sure what's the reason I cannot listen to the
It is
voice.
deep in American culture. It's in our Declaration.
I guess no power.
The idea that if you work hard, you personally work hard, that you can achieve anything, and that you will be rewarded for your hard work. Even many parents in the U.S., when their children reach the age of 18, many parents say, okay, time for you to be on your own. Get your own apartment, make sure you have a job, you do your own chores, your own laundry, your own cooking, get your own car, and not with our help. For many parents, we don't necessarily say, oh, here's money to do that.
Okay.
Instead, we say,
现在可以了。
you work,
现在就可以了。你
OK
你摁了吗？
save,
我没有啊。OK。
and
那你给我插一下电，充一下电，当时
so
怎么充？
能插拉得过来吗？线？
there's a positive and there's a negative to this.
或者充电宝有吗？
The positive is to build your character as an individual. The negative is we don't put as much value as we should on community building.
又没电了，是不是一样？
It's not that we don't value community at all. It's that it's different than in China. In China, it's all about family. It's all about working together to achieve the family goals. And so that is really a big difference in style.
有声音吗？
It's not that one is necessarily better than the other. I think that combination of the two would be amazing. People who are strong individuals who also are strong families and communities would be amazing. But culturally, the two countries approach the same challenge differently.
So sounds interesting. And as far as you know, in compared to Chinese people, can you talk more difference between China and American individualism? Because you also have been in China many years. Yeah.
Well, I'll give you an example.
Yeah.
So, when you're talking about marriage and children, every grandparent, every parent, they dream about being a grandparent. In China, it's deep in the culture. It's, hey, you're 25 years old. Are you going to get married? Are you going to have children? When? When?
Always urge family or parents always urge young children to quickly prepare everything.
Yes, and here we say when it's right for you. If you find the right person, if you feel that you're at the right point in your life, whether you are 25 or 35 or 40, and want to have children at that point in your life, then you can. Also, when parents begin to save in China for their son to be able to, maybe get an apartment, to be able to get a car, to be able to pay the bride's parents for, her marriage to their son. That does not exist in America. In fact, the kids would hate us if we got that involved in their life. They don't want us to pick their husband. They don't want us to pick their wife. They would like it if we gave them a free car or a free house. But they probably are not going to expect it because they know that their parent is going to say, "What? Are you crazy? I'm not paying for your car. I'm not paying for your house. You pay for it. You save. You work hard. I saved. I'm going on vacation."
Actually, I guess what's the reason? Let's think about. There are many reasons. For example, on the one hand, just because the long traditional history in China, several generations live together, so the relationships among them seems very harmonious. And even, for example, when we when parents get old and we are still young, we can take care of them. So that's why usually parents concern a lot about children's growth and must cultivate them become very successful. This is for Chinese parents like this. And I guess there are several reasons. One is, especially in the past, Chinese social some systems or some guaranteeing are not good enough. We cannot always rely on the society. For every core family, parents must rely on their children to take care of them when they get old. And in America, because social guarantees and welfare are very developed, so that for parents, they don't concern too much or rely on their children. They can live by themselves. So they seem very independent and very individual. Even a lot of children, when they grow up about at the age of 18 or some age, parents say, oh, just we can separate. You can do everything, even if you are trying to pay tuition fee by yourself. There's something good. These children must learn how to survive, how to make a living by themselves. On the other hand, for some, maybe the relationship in America becomes not as so close as that in China. So also maybe have other reasons. At least social guarantees is one reason, and some traditional opinions, traditional habits are also caused such kind of difference happens between China and America. And can you also tell us for what kind of reasons cause the difference between China and America? In China, seems people emphasize the importance of collectivism. In a company, you must emphasize all of the company's development, not just your personal interest, your personal individualism. So, a company is organized by all of the employees, all of the people. For a country, it's the same. I remember one president in the United States, when he was devout to all of when he was became on the stage, he delivered a speech. He mentioned, don't mention how much the country can do for you. You must remember how much you can contribute to the whole society. I'm not sure if you
John F. Kennedy.
John Kennedy. Yeah. President John Kennedy mentioned about this. Yeah. You must also consider a lot how much you can contribute to the whole country. You also have the much more important opinion about how to develop yourself, your individual or collective. So I guess in some opinion maybe it's the same for China or for American. Some part different, some part the same. How about your opinion?
It depends. It depends on the individual.
Mm-hmm.
It depends on the family.
Yeah.
This is the biggest difference.
Yes.
If I ask any of my friends in China,
mm-hmm.
Where was your father born? China.
Yeah.
Where was your grandfather born? China. Where was your great grandfather born? China.
Yeah.
If you ask me, where was my father born? America.
Mm-hmm.
Where was my grandfather born? Portugal. Where was my other grandfather?
Immigration. Americans are organized by immigration.
So what happens is with each generation that moved to America to live here,
Yeah.
they brought with them their belief, their values, their judgment, all of the things that their culture had. And their culture and the other cultures come together.
Yes.
Basically, American culture is a mix
Yeah.
of many cultures. If you look at a Chinese family that moves to America, within within just two generations,
Yeah.
you will see that the grandchildren are very independent.
Right.
The grandparents are very traditional.
Yes.
In the same family. So they create a new type of family
Yeah.
that is part Chinese history and values and part American values.
Yes.
And it's in the middle that you find it's an interesting balance
Yes.
between the two ways of life.
Yeah.
And I don't look at them as better or worse. I look at them as different and complementary. They can coexist, but you see it in families that come from those countries. So,
Right.
you know, a French family moves to the United States. Within two generations, the grandchildren, will be very independent.
Right.
The grandparents, they will be traditional French.
Yes.
My grandparents on my father's side, very Portuguese, Spanish. On my mother's side, very English, Scottish.
Mixture. Whole family are mixture from different countries.
My values are a mix of many countries that my ancestors had sometimes very different values. And in my mind, I have to pick which ones fit me as an individual.
Yeah.
And that is how you end up. You know, if you ask in China, an opinion about something, you will get different opinions.
Right.
People will have different opinions, but the diversity of opinion in the U.S. is huge.
Right.
We have a funny saying. If you ask 12 people and a question, you will get 13 answers.
Everyone has different opinions.
Everybody has a different answer.
Yeah.
Nobody's answer is the same. And so the challenge with that is this. When you're trying to run a government that is for the people, you have to work together.
Yeah.
And every year after year, it's a challenge. Because every year you've got new people with new ideas, and they need to find, a way to work together with everybody else. We say compromise. We need to find compromise. Sometimes it does not work. Right now, we have a government that cares about half people and doesn't care about the other half.
Yeah.
So, but that happens in a country like this. That happens. Sometimes the government is amazing, and sometimes the government is terrible. but that is part of, trying to get 327 million different people
Yes.
to agree on anything.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes.
And I want to point out that in a team, I think every people have different opinions, but for the team spirit, we should unite each other and sometimes compromise each other, and cannot everything always seem very independent. After all, this team, for example, you mentioned you ever served in the army. In army, a lot of places you just do it, and everyone do the same thing. No individualism, no independence. You just abide by the rules in the army. So sometimes independence is a good thing, and individualism also is recommended, but not always. Do you think so?
No. And you have to know when to use it.
Right.
When to be the individual.
Yeah.
And when to be part of the community.
Yeah.
And I think you spend your whole life figuring this out.
Right.
It's not a perfect process.
Mm-hmm.
You will make mistakes when you were acting for yourself and should have been thinking about your family,
Yes.
community.
Mm-hmm.
And other times when you think so much about your family that sometimes you forget yourself.
Yeah.
So you need to find a balance, and it's something you spend your whole life balancing like this.
Yeah.
It's never like this. It's always
Different. There is a gap.
even with work and play, work and leisure.
Mm-hmm.
It's always, you never, for 1 second, that brief time, you're like this, and then it goes. So you spend your life trying to find balance.
Yes.
Even as an individual.
Okay. Now let's move to the next topic. Next one is, did you know drive-thrus are all over the U.S.? Okay, this is a very interesting story.
I love this.
Okay, please.
I don't know how many people in the audience have been to a drive-through. It is simply driving your car up to the business to a window, and you can buy their products, and you exchange your money and the product at the window. You can buy food, you can buy coffee, you can buy medicine. You can pull up to a drive-through. We say, by the way, we use the expression "pull up."
Yeah.
To drive your car up to the window. You pull up to the window to buy medicine at a pharmacy. It's very convenient. In America, it's always thinking about how can I do things quickly to get to the next task.
Yeah.
So people, instead of stopping to eat and have lunch and calm down, relax,
Yeah.
instead they get food at a window, a drive-through. They eat it in their car while they're driving.
Oh.
While they're driving.
It can save time, but maybe not healthy.
You will see people doing this. They will have a sandwich in one hand. They will have the steering wheel of their car in the other hand, like this.
Oh.
I'm not saying it's safe.
One stone can kill two birds. Do this at the same time.
Remember, I'm not saying it's safe, but I might do it too.
But maybe it's not healthy if you eat something sometimes.
It's not really particularly healthy because most drive-thrus have very unhealthy food. It's fast. We call it fast food.
Fast food. McDonald's, Burger King, KFC,
Dunkin' Donuts. You know, it's a
Starbucks.
So they're everywhere. Every city has hundreds of drive-thrus.
So everyone is busy. That means Chinese people are not so busy. We can have a seat and to. Sometimes people also do like Americans, what American does, but not as so many.
Remember what we said earlier.
Yeah.
Americans can be workaholic.
Yeah.
So a drive-through is a product of that culture.
Yeah.
It's how can I eat quickly and get back to whatever task.
Yeah.
The weird part for Americans is this.
Yeah.
We will try to save time with a drive-through.
Yeah.
But then we will waste time somewhere else, like video games.
Sometimes watch TV.
Yeah, so you will see a young man, 25-year-old man. He will spend 4 hours on playing a video game, but then he goes to a drive-through.
Save time and also waste time.
Yes, so I didn't say that the culture makes sense.
It occurs to me two things about American culture, especially about TV. On the one hand, I remember Steve Jobs mentioned that in the history, in the human being's history, the innovation of television was the most terrible thing because it wasted people's time. This is Steve Jobs mentioned. And on the other hand, I remember there was a special word that is soccer widow. That means for husband and wife, they got married and get together. But the husband was spending so much time in watching TV, so that ignored his wife. His wife seems no husband, so widow. That is soccer widow or football widow. Do you also use that word?
It's an older term. You won't hear it much anymore, but it is true that TV. First it was radio. Radio is the oldest of the media in the U.S. Then television in the 1950s, I believe, and then of course internet in 1991. And Steve Jobs, it's funny that he would call TV a waste of time because his company is responsible for making smartphones that are an even bigger waste of time.
It's true. It's true.
He didn't want you to watch TV. He wanted you to watch the phone.
Now in China nowadays, most people also don't watch TV. Even in my family, even a whole year no TV. Everyone has 2 mobile phones. Pretty busy. How about America? America maybe TV also less and less people are watching TV, right?
Yeah, that's absolutely. They watch their phone. Unfortunately, parents.
Some people are working in television stations. Always we can say, "Oh, we are almost jobless. We must find out new jobs." And what's more, like Douyin, Kuaishou, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, all of these apps are so popular and occupies people's every minute a lot of time, so that maybe people cannot spend much time on something else. It's it's just like you point out. On the one hand, people are people know driving through. That means to save time. On the other hand, they wasted a lot of time in mobile phones. Even my child Gary, so he spent a lot of time in watching movies, play electronic movies, or just games. It's too terrible.
Yes, it's a problem. It's a problem here.
Yeah.
Older parents, so parents that are at least maybe 30, 40 years old. We grew up in a different time, especially if you're 40 or older. You grew up at a time when there was no internet when you were under the age of 20. And so, we used traditional ways to entertain ourselves. You play family games, watch TV together as a family. But with the introduction of the internet, the introduction of smartphones to then view the internet anywhere, unfortunately, go on any Chinese, the metro in China.
Yeah.
And what do you see? Everybody like this.
Everybody, no matter in the subway or in the on the bus or in the office, on the street, always the same gesture.
I like when they look up from their phone, so they go like this. When they do, I look over and I smile. Because they all stare at their phones. And by the way, it's true in a lot of families here.
Yeah.
They unfortunately, they spend way too much time on their phones. But it's a different generation now. We call it born digital.
Yeah.
Born digital is a child who was born into the modern age where there's internet.
Yes.
And smart. So anybody born after 1991,
yeah,
we consider them born digital.
Yes.
That's all they know. This has been their life since they were born.
Sometimes not only children but also our adults are also controlled by mobile phones, so smartphones. We must remind of all of our audience, our friends. We still need to spend some time to really stay with our families and keep in touch with a lot of friends. Not only by mobile phone, but also in the real society, real life. We need to spend some time to take exercise to keep fit. Cannot just focus on mobile phone. It's not health. It's not healthy. It's bad to our health. And sometimes we need to also focus on work.
Try an experiment with yourself.
Yeah.
And turn off your phone for even 1 hour.
Yeah.
And see if you can survive.
Yeah.
You can.
It's hard to imagine for a lot of people. Without smartphones, what can I do? No soul. Some people say seems no soul.
About 10 years ago, they did a study. Might be a little old. When they asked people 18 to 24 years old.
Yes.
Would you rather give up your phone or
Yeah.
give up your girlfriend or boyfriend?
Yeah.
They would rather give up their girlfriend or boyfriend.
I remember several years ago, it's Chinese traditional New Year. A lot of people who are working, young generations, they are working or studying in big cities, go back to home. A lot of relatives mention, oh, they come home, we are having dinner together. He just use his phone. Oh, I'm blah blah blah. But forget to talk face to face. Just always he was strictly controlled by the smartphones. So if some people say, oh, I think the distance between us is so wide just because of the phone. So we must consider sometimes, no matter we stay with our lovers, our children, our colleagues, we must discard our mobile phone outside and just keep talk with other people face to face, stare at the opposite, and or go out to keep fit, and instead of always live in the visual life. Yeah.
It's very important. It's part
Yeah.
of everything that we were talking about earlier.
Yeah.
Is part of the problem. Working too much, not taking enough vacation. The way we eat, the way we have our friendships. Unfortunately, the phone is just another distraction to being able to have a quality life.
Yes.
People think that the phone makes their life better, but if they would put the phone down for just a little while,
yes,
they would see how nice it is to not have so much stress, so much anxiety, more balance. But people are unwilling.
Yeah.
They are unwilling to do. And so, they complain.
Yeah.
I'm always on my phone.
I think a kind of phenomenon very common, pretty common everywhere we can see, even in every family. For example, when we wake up in the morning, the first thing for us to find out smartphone and check our WeChat, Douyin, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, instead of hug our wives or hug my wife. I remember once one morning when I wake up, I'm watching some news. Suddenly, my wife mentioned, "Okay, I suggested you should look for a smartphone to get married instead of me. A smartphone is better." You can imagine every day the time you watch your smartphone is much longer than you stare at me or watching or hug me. So the best wife for you should be a smartphone. Instead of me, my wife mentioned to me.
Well, if a man or a woman continues to do that, every day they pay more attention to the phone. We have a name for their spouse. It's called ex-wife.
Ex-wife, ex-wife, 前妻, ex-wife.
She's, eventually they're going to say, "I'm done. You love your phone, So be with your phone. And, I will go be with somebody that doesn't want to be with their phone.
With the digital camera or mobile phone development, we must concern our time. Yeah.
Young men in America and in China.
Yeah.
It's shocking.
Yeah.
How much time they prefer video games.
Right.
Over their girlfriend.
Now, maybe the first time killer is a smartphone, not a boyfriend, a girlfriend.
If I have a choice between video games,
yes,
and wife or girlfriend, I will always pick this one. Because video games, like houses and cars, they will come and go.
Yeah.
But that person, if you build a strong relationship, it will be there for a lifetime.
Yeah. Seemingly, driving through means saving time. Actually, in other parts in our daily life, we should also balance everything, not always some part save time, some part waste time. I think this is our point. Okay, let's still give our audience some time to ask questions, and if you have questions, just ask here. Yeah, some people say those people are sticking on cell phone. They adhere to cell phone. Some people say, and anyway, we give some time for our audience to forward the link to other groups, WeChat groups, or to ask more questions. Maybe 20 or 30 seconds. We can sip water or tea, and I can play some music. Today I choose the As Long As You Love Me, the Backstreet Boy. Yeah, Backstreet Boy. Okay, you can have a few seconds to have a rest. So, do you love the song?
Well, this is from a younger generation.
Yeah, for a young generation.
My music's much older.
Your music much older. Someday you can choose one and play to our audience. Okay, the topic is, do you know Americans often hire babysitters to take care of their children? In China, it also happens, but more often than not, usually grandparents will take care of the young generation. So, okay, give us your opinions.
Well, so remember what we were saying earlier about things like independence and the role of parents and children in a family. Once those children move out and become parents of their own, they generally, unless it's a very close family,
yes,
which can happen, generally they would prefer to have a babysitter rather than their parents. Part of it is because parents, once you leave your parents' house, you really
independent,
telling you what to do. In China, you know, your mom, your mother-in-law lives with you, maybe. And,
yeah.
You know, maybe her advice
is
very powerful. And
Yes.
you maybe you don't say, Mom. Thank you for your advice, but no.
Mm-hmm.
In China, that would probably, your mom would kill you.
Yes. So, some parents maybe seem very controlling, and so that generations always respect their suggestions.
That's it. Even if they disagree.
Yeah.
So in U.S.,
No.
In fact, if my mom tells me something and I disagree with it, I would say, maybe everything from, Mom, I love you, but you're crazy. or Mom, thank you, I appreciate your opinion, but I'm going to do this my way. And babysitters are part of that. Having your parents in your house, oh my God, I can survive around my parents for maybe one day, and then they drive me crazy. And I cannot imagine if every day they were at the house taking care of the children. I would have gone crazy, because they would say, oh, do this, do that. And I would go, no.
Yeah.
And that's part of that individualism that we talked about earlier. So many of the things that we spoke about earlier is why you will find so many American parents who can afford it, if they can afford it, will have babysitters. If they cannot afford it, we'll ask our parents, but we're not going to like it.
Okay, ask you one question. Usually, what kind of person would like to be a babysitter? Usually in America.
Okay. So it depends. If the husband is hiring, probably a young girl.
Opposite always attract each other mutually.
If the wife is hiring,
a boy,
an old lady.
Old lady. So babysitter means usually old lady. Oh, it's safe for the husband. It's safe. Otherwise, some chemistry may happen between the babysitter and the husband.
The wife wants the sweetest, nicest, most reliable old lady she can find that isn't her mother.
After all, they have taken care of children and let them brought up. Yeah.
Basically, the wife wants somebody else's mother.
Oh.
Not her mother.
Oh. Your husband's wife, mother-in-law. Usually, the lady, the mom, the lady needs hope a mother-in-law to be babysitter, or not? Still not. No. Okay.
No. They, if they get along. If they get along, sure. There are some very close families. Remember what I said earlier.
Yeah.
Imagine a family from China moving to the U.S. Chances are, even though they live here, they will still carry on some tradition, including mother-in-law lives at home, mother lives at home, care for the children right here in the U.S. So anything is possible. But after a couple generations, the grandkids, when they grow up and they become parents and they become grandparents, they're going to be a lot more Americanized.
Yes, yes.
By then, they're going to say, you know, my grandparents used to live with me. I don't want to live with you.
Even
I don't like you that much.
Even for myself, I also in China. When I just came back from the United States and worked for the government, and then full-time opened the company Suntrans, and I was pretty busy. My wife was pregnant and almost produced the baby Gary. That happened 10 years ago, and we were so busy. So my wife and I discussed whose parents should come here, because my father died maybe many years ago in 1988. Only my mom, and my parents-in-law was still comparatively much younger, and she said, "Oh, it's easy to get along with my mom. Let my parents come." I say it's okay. So it's a very common phenomenon that in China, usually the parents, the young couple would like to ask their females parents come together to live, not husband's wife parents together.
Okay.
But nowadays it's become more and more popular, and usually I'm very popular, but just because the daughter-in-law is very hard to get along with mother-in-law, but son-in-law is comparatively much easy to get along with parents-in-law. No matter mom-in-law or father-in-law, no problem for husband, because after all, husband seem much more lenient and generous and easy to get along, easy going, easy coming. But for women, for lady, for wife, for daughter-in-law, it's not easy. So it seems Chinese people always say it's they are the mother-in-law and daughter-in-law seems enemies, maybe from several generations, always enemies. Both of the two ladies love the same man, means mom and wife. They are always enemies, usually. So it's the status quo in China.
Partly, it seems control. Who gets to make the decisions, and unfortunately, the husband or wife, depending on whose parents live there,
right?
They feel like we say, you feel like the meat in a sandwich.
Yeah.
Because you have your mother-in-law is the bread.
Yeah.
You're the meat. And
yeah.
Your wife is the other bread.
Very vivid. Yeah.
Yes, and you feel squeezed, right?
Yeah.
But in the U.S., the relationships are similar. The wife will maybe like her mom a little bit more, right? But often they also like their mother-in-law. It depends.
Yeah.
But they do not like being told what to do. If their mother or their mother-in-law starts trying to tell them how to be a parent, or how to live their life, that does not go well. American men and women, but especially American women, are very strong, independent. They want to be heard, They want to be respected.
Right.
And they look at their parents and their mother-in-law and father-in-law, and they say, "Do not undermine my authority."
Yeah.
My children.
Yeah.
I tell my children what to do. You do not tell my children what to do. Very, it's again, that's part of that independence and individualism.
Yes. And here, there is audience mentioned about an old generation of mom or father will spoil their grandkids. The name is Lao Wang, and the neighbor next door neighbor Lao Wang, 隔壁老王 leave a message here. Yeah.
Do you know why?
I don't know why. Can you tell us your explanation?
American grandparents like to spoil the grandchildren because it's we like to create little monsters.
A little monster.
It's revenge on our children. Think now. So your children, as they grow up, oftentimes they make you miserable. They do things where you go, oh, they're driving me crazy. So when your children finally have children, you say, ooh, I'm going to spoil their children so that their children drive them crazy. It's revenge for having to deal with our children. Now they have to deal with their children after you spoil them.
So we must. That's why a lot of parents, even in China, it's the same. Grandparents may spoil the kids. So that's why young couple usually are reluctant to let their parents come to take care of the children.
Yeah, because it makes the children difficult to parent, right? It's difficult to manage spoiled children. And I mean, I joke, grandparents aren't always like this, but they, it is very much it's interesting. Grandparents typically love their grandchildren.
Yes.
Even more than their children, which is weird.
So every country, everywhere, the same as a phenomena.
Wait a minute. Wait. I'm your son. How come you like my son more than you like me? And they go, because we had to deal with you. He comes here for 2 hours, and then he goes home. It's nice.
Yes. Okay. We must love our children, no matter generation, which generation, parents, grandparents. Yeah.
American parents will never, ever tell you, but they all have a favorite child.
Yeah.
If they have 2 children, 5 children, one of them they like a little bit more than the rest of them.
Yes, always. It always happens in many families.
They won't say it.
Yeah.
They won't say it. Maybe in private, if you say, come on, your kids aren't here. Tell me, which one's your favorite?
It's understandable. For most people, it's the same.
It's difficult because there's always, when you have multiple children, there's always one that's very well behaved.
Yeah.
And there's always one that is a monster.
Yeah.
And I don't know why. But almost every family
Yes.
that for decades,
Yeah.
they all have one well-behaved child, one monster,
Yeah.
and some children in the middle that nobody knows their name.
Yes, it's really very interesting. Yeah. So now in China, in big cities like Beijing, Shanghai, Guangzhou, these cities, young couples also like to hire babysitters, not their parents. More and more people do like this. Yeah.
It's as a society, progresses where the children feel more empowered.
Yeah.
I use the word empowered. As they feel like they have a little bit more control, a little more authority,
Yeah.
you will often find that they choose to use a babysitter
Yeah.
as it's a statement. They're making a statement. They're saying, Mom, Dad, I love you, but
Yeah.
I don't need you 100% of the time.
Okay. Yeah, yeah, it's very interesting. And today, this is all of the topic we have finished. And can you summarize today's conversation and give our audience some suggestions or recommendations? Okay, please.
If you take away anything from today's talk, it's that the Americans that you encounter around the world, you should feel free to approach and talk. Many of us, most of us, we enjoy it. We enjoy the conversation. If you want to talk about children, job, family, not just how's the weather. That's boring.
Yeah.
We love to have conversations, and the culture. We are the product of many cultures. It's extremely difficult to define what an American really is, because we come from so many backgrounds. There is no one definition for an American. And it makes it very interesting, because each one that you speak to will have a little bit different story.
Right.
Maybe they have been to different parts of the world, or their ancestors came from different parts of the world.
Yeah.
So you're never going to have a boring conversation.
Yeah.
With most Americans. So go out. If you see one, say hi.
Yeah.
We don't bite.
Yes, we must show other people our respect and enthusiastic to other people. And okay, today's our conversation has lasted about 2.5 hours, almost 2.5 hours, very long. But we feel very short. The time is passing so quickly, like flying. And for more do you maybe later we will send some questionnaire on here and ask people to answer, and also put the questionnaire on our WeChat public platform. And what else do you want to tell our audience, please?
Well, two things.
Okay.
One, if they want to hear us discuss specific topics, if there's something that they would find very interesting, I think that they should leave a message.
Yeah, leave a message here.
And if they want, we can put together a list of ideas, of topics,
Yeah.
and they can vote on
Yes.
which one they would like for us to talk about. And then we can use that as the next topic that we discuss.
Yes.
So, don't feel that you have to just listen to us talk about random topics. Participate. Pick something. Tell us what you want to hear about. And, whatever it is, and we can discuss it here, and you can participate. So hopefully you'll submit your ideas to us.
Okay. Thank you so much, John, and thank you for all of our audience. And tomorrow we will have a new program. Looking forward to see you tomorrow. And today, just so much for today. And it's time to say goodbye. Thank you. Bye bye.
Bye.
Okay. Bye bye.
Sorry.
Okay.
Good morning.
Bye bye.